Islam Makhachev had been sharpening his tools alongside Khamzat Chimaev in Dubai before heading into the biggest test of his career, a move that immediately sent ripples across the MMA world.
If I'm looking at that fight, stylistically, I think if Islam gets to the ground, it's going to be an easy night. Islam's ground game is so good. I think JDM makes a lot of mistakes on the ground. With his scrambling, he's very good at it, but I think Islam doesn't let you scramble. So if you scramble, he'll good at locking in arm triangles. But you still got to get it to the ground first, right? It's going to be good to see how he is on the feet with JDM, who's kind of tricky. But I think if Islam gets to the ground, Islam will get his hand raised.
Fans could sense that something serious was brewing. Makhachev wasn't just looking to collect another belt, he was preparing for a war. Training with Chimaev, known for his raw aggression and relentless pace, hinted that Islam was leaving no stone unturned. He knew stepping into the cage against Della at welterweight wouldn't be like his lightweight battles. This wasn't about dominance anymore, it was about proving that his precision and control could withstand a bigger, stronger, and equally composed opponent.
Islam versus JDM in the MSG. How do you think it will play out?
It's a very, very intriguing fight. JDM is growing at a rapid pace, and we all know what Islam possesses, and we know how good Islam is. So I'm intrigued about that fight. I don't think, because I feel like some people are kind of, initially when that fight was being announced, people were like, oh, this Islam's gonna do this, Islam's gonna take care of him, or JDM's too big. I think now we're starting to understand that that fight's going to be a lot closer than we think.
While many fighters were quick to take sides, Colby Covington's analysis stood out for being more tactical than emotional. Covington didn't see Makhachev enjoying the same size advantage he had at lightweight, but he still leaned toward the Dagestani side. In his eyes, Islam's seamless mix of striking and grappling made him a nightmare to deal with. That constant shift between levels, throwing punches 1 second and diving for takedowns the next, was what made him so unpredictable. Covington believed that this constant threat could keep Maddalena from ever finding his rhythm, making Islam's adaptability inside the cage his biggest weapon.
Islam versus JDM, what do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight?
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Alexander Volkanovski, who knew exactly how dangerous Makhachev could be, saw things a little differently. He thought Maddalena might finally be the one to figure Islam out. Volkanovski was impressed by how Jack handled Bilal Muhammad's suffocating pressure, stuffing takedowns, controlling distance, and keeping the fight in his comfort zone. What really stood out to him was Jack's composure. Volkanovski believed that calmness could be the key to surviving Islam's grinding style, and to him, Maddalena wasn't the type to panic. He adjusted, read situations, and made quiet, effective changes mid-fight. The kind of qualities that might just give him the narrowest window to pull off something special.
JDM is getting ready for Islam Makhachev. How dangerous is he for Islam? So he's going to be an absolute nightmare. We've got Della, who's a wrestler. Look how we handle that. And he's a beast on the feet. Islam's not taking this one lightly. So him moving up, I still think he's a nightmare for a lot of the people in the division, but I think JDM can do it.
Max Holloway viewed the matchup through an entirely different lens. He saw it as a psychological duel rather than a physical one. For Holloway, it wasn't about who could hit harder or wrestle better, it was about who could think faster. He considered Maddalena one of those fighters who could read opponents and make instant in-fight adjustment, the kind of adaptability that could mess with Makhachev's usually flawless discipline. In Holloway's mind, this fight would resemble a chess match where both fighters continuously adapted, countered, and recalibrated, and in such a tight contest, he believed that even one smart adjustment in the middle rounds could flip everything upside down.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, He's the number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
Robert Whittaker didn't hesitate to side with Maddalena. Having fought across both middleweight and welterweight, Whittaker understood how a few extra pounds could change. To him, Jack was a rare breed, someone who thrived in chaos yet never lost his cool. He felt that the key to beating Makhachev wasn't necessarily shutting down his wrestling, but avoiding being cornered or dragged into a one-dimensional grappling affair. Whittaker thought if Maddalena could keep the fight standing long enough to make Islam respect his striking, the upset was more than just a fantasy.
As you can be.
Because I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Philip Rowe agreed, but came at it from a physical stand. He simply didn't believe Makhachev's frame was naturally suited at welterweight. At lightweight, Islam's strength had always been on edge. But that physical advantage, Rowe argued, would vanish against someone like Jack. He saw Maddalena as a natural welterweight, faster, sharper, and more explosive. In Rowe's view, Jack's relentless pace could eventually wear Islam down, dragging him into unfamiliar waters. The key, he believed, was Maddalena's ability to maintain that high output without burning out.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chilling.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop at Islam.
Steve Urseg, another rising Australian star, couldn't hide his pride in Jack's recent evolution. He described Maddalena's dismantling of Belal Muhammad as one of the most polished performances ever by an Australian fighter. What impressed him most was the poise, the way Jack stayed patient, picked his moments, and never let Belal's pace shake it. Urseg even compared Maddalena's composure to Dustin Poirier's fleeting successes against Islam, but believed Jack's sharper timing and heavier hands could trouble Makhachev even more. For Urseg, that perfect balance of calmness and precision might finally reveal cracks in Islam's otherwise unshakable armor.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. He handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. He just the big moment. He rose to the occasion. It was fantastic to see, and I really do think, I do think that the grappling from Islam, he's a better technical grappler than Belal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing, and if you looked at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Yoel Romero, a veteran who had shared the cage with countless elite fighters, admired Maddalena's growth too. He saw in Jack a young man with a sharp mind for fighting, someone who balanced aggression with intelligence. What impressed Romero most was Maddalena's ability to stay collected under fire, especially during that short-notice clash with Belal. To Romero, Jack represented the next evolution of the welterweight fighter, aggressive, technical, but calm enough to stay composed when everything got wild.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's grappling?
Umar Nurmagomedov, Islam's longtime teammate, wasn't buying into any of that. Having trained with Makhachev for years, he knew firsthand how much his friend had evolved. Umar believed Islam's move to welterweight welterweight wasn't a risk at all, it was a natural transition. According to him, the Dagestani had filled out perfectly, carrying more strength and explosiveness than ever before. Omar insisted that Islam wasn't coming in with just one game plan but an entire set of strategies, enough to handle whatever version of Maddalena showed up on fight night.
He have, he don't have some just one plan for fight, and he have plan A, B, C, and like all alphabet, D, E, A, everything, like if something not he couldn't do, he gonna try other one not good, he have next plan, and he's amazing fighter, and he's amazing friend, brother, and I think he will take this belt. I think he deserves.
Yeah. When I talked to him right after he vacated the lightweight title, he said he was having a bit of a hard time like adding on the muscle and keeping it on. He said it wasn't making him feel good, but he looks very good now. Do you think he's like very built well for welterweight?
Yes, he become a bigger, now we have more power, more than ever, and I think he's ready.
Merab Dvalishvili offered a balanced perspective. As one of the UFC's most relentless grapplers, he respected how smothering Islam could be, but he also pointed out something many overlooked: how difficult it was to keep Maddalena on the ground. Watching Jack's fight with Belal, Merab noticed how easily he popped back up from takedowns. That kind of resilience, he thought, could be the deciding factor in a matchup that would likely test both men's conditioning to the absolute limit.
Islam, he's moving up to 170. Do you think that he gets the job done and wins that title, or do you think JDM retains?
It's gonna be hard for him, but it's possible to Islam Makhachev wins the second belt. JDM is great fighter, great striker, but Islam is tricky. He has a good wrestling. He's southpaw, he don't get hits, but he takes people down and he balls people down. And also we all see the JDM Belal Muhammad's fight, and then I'm sure Islam will take lots of lessons from this fight, and Islam will make some adjustment. It's possible, it's gonna be hard, but Islam can win the second belt.
Charles Oliveira, who had felt Islam's pressure firsthand, looked at the fight with grounded realism. He praised Maddalena's patience and calculated style, noting how Jack chipped away at opponents rather than chasing wild finishes. What fascinated Oliveira most was the endurance factor. If Maddalena could survive those early rounds and extend the fight, Islam might find himself in a place he had rarely been: deep water without his usual control.
Quem que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo, é o time.
Sean O'Malley zoomed out to the bigger picture. To him, the fight was about legacy more than belts. The winner, O'Malley believed, could step into crossover territory, big money fights, maybe even a shot at someone like Ilia Topuria. He also pointed out how unpredictable Maddalena was. Every time Jack fought, chaos followed, and O'Malley thought that wild energy could shake things up in a fight as structured as this one.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachev.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Belal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. We'll give him that.
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilia versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Dan Hooker kept things honest. He didn't pick a clear winner, but admitted how massive of a mountain Maddalena was trying to climb. Facing someone as complete and composed as Islam, Hooker said, was one of the toughest challenges any fighter could take on. Yet he also respected Makhachev's willingness to chase greatness by moving up in weight, something even Khabib never attempted. Though Hooker was rooting for Jack to carry the Australian flag proudly, he didn't pretend it would be easy.
like credit to Islam, like doing something that even Khabib didn't dare to try, which is move up a weight class. He's got his own problems. Jack Della's that's a big boy. I've stood next to Jack Della a few times, and you could chop off one of his legs and he's still not gonna make lightweight. Like, he is a legitimate welterweight problem, and that obviously takes away a lot of Islam's advantages by coming in there and being a big lightweight, being a strong lightweight.
In Machado, Gary stripped away all the noise and went straight to the core issue: takedown defense. For him, everything hinged on whether Maddalena could stay on his feet. Gary saw Jack as the cleaner, faster striker, but he knew that the moment Islam locked his hands, the whole dynamic changed. The real question, he said, wasn't about technique, but about stamina. Could Jack defend for 5 long rounds without fading? Gary believed he had improved massively since his last test against a strong grappler, but this fight would reveal just how much.
The fight for me really is when Islam grabs a hold of Jack, how good has Jack improved? Because Islam is world class at that and has been for probably his entire life because of the way he trains and where he has come from. So can Jack stop that consistently like he did against Belal? Because he did a phenomenal job against Belal at stopping that. But can he do that against someone who's just cleaner, more technical? On the feet, I think Jack wins it cleanly. I think he'll jab, switching stances. He'll have a bit more fluidity due to the fact that Islam's not going to be changing stances so regularly. So I think Jack can do it on the feet, but the question mark is, can he stop the takedown consistently over 5 rounds?
Analyst Dan Hardy took a more philosophical approach. He was fascinated by how champions handled the move up in weight. Dominating one division, he said, didn't guarantee the same results in another. He was curious whether Islam's added bulk would help or hurt him. Would he keep his explosiveness, or would the extra weight slow him down? Hardy also pointed out that even if Maddalena managed to shock the world, his troubles wouldn't end there. The welterweight division, stacked with killers, would make staying champion an even greater challenge than becoming one.
John Jones against Tom Aspinall, which is the blockbuster. I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachev though. I think Makhachev holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilia Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have much success against Makhachev.
Carlos Prates took things to a more emotional place. What stood out most to him wasn't Jack's power or speed, but his patience. He believed that calmness was exactly what could disrupt Islam's rhythm. Instead of panicking while defending takedowns, Prates thought Maddalena just needed to survive the early storm and drag Islam into later rounds. Once fatigue set in, Jack's steady pace and strong cardio could start turning the tide.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since he stopped fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he loses, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight,
Stephen Thompson wasn't entirely convinced Maddalena was ready for this jump. Having fought some of the deadliest strikers in the division, he understood how steep the climb was from beating top contenders to facing someone as complete as Makhachev. Thompson respected Jack's rise, but wondered if it might have come too early. With fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary waiting in line, he believed timing could be the real factor, not just skill.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah. Because, this guy, JDM, just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Bilal Muhammad. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Bilal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
By the time all voices were heard, one thing became clear. This wasn't just another title fight, it was a collision of styles, eras, and mentalities. Islam's precision and control against Jack's composure and creativity. And with the world watching, both men were stepping into a test that could redefine their legacies forever.